What is up, guys? Welcome back to Hippo Supercoach, and today we've got our best captaincy options for round 20. Now, this is a pretty important round. It's obviously getting to the pointy end of the season, so we need to nail these decisions. Most people will be competing for a spot, maybe in the top 4, maybe in the top 8 of their league, and this is the make or break. So, last round of the regular or home and away Supercoach season, so it's important we get this stuff right. So, in my opinion, Carlton Collingwood, I wouldn't be going near anyone. Now, obviously, there's a big one in Nick Dacos. I do think he'll cop a heavy tag from either Ed Kerno or George Hewitt. So they are very, very likely tags. So I don't think you could go Nick Dacos, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll stay away from him. That being said, it wouldn't surprise me if he does go big, but me personally, I'm not going near him. Then we have Geelong Freo. So Tom Stewart is a very solid option. The only problem is, literally the only problem with Tom Stewart is he plays at the same time as the Bulldogs, who are probably the most relevant team when it comes to VCC because they have the 2 highest averages in Supercoach. That being said, you could go him as a pod. I don't think too many will go him because obviously Bulldogs at the same time. I personally won't be. I'd rather options in the Bulldogs games, but we'll talk about Freo. So would you go with a Brayshaw? Probably not. Sarong, probably not. Luke Ryan, I mean, you could maybe say Luke Ryan, but I think he might have to man up. I think he might have to man up on like a Jezza Cameron or something. So that's not ideal. Bulldogs, GWS. So look, you could go with someone like a Josh Kelly if you really wanted a pod, because I do think he'll go large. He won't cop any attention. But for me, Tim English is the one that I just think, yes, Briggs is in great form, but Tim English is just getting it done lately. So I'm going to go I'm going to go English personally, just because he's been trustworthy over the last 5 or so weeks. You could definitely go Bont, Willie Cop, maybe Perryman. I feel like GWS haven't really been tagging lately, so look, I don't think you have to worry about a tag for Bont. He should be fine. But I personally just prefer English. Gold Coast, Brisbane. So this is where my captain's going to be. I'm going to go with Josh Dunkley as captain. I don't think he'll get any attention either. If they're going to put any time into anyone, it's Neil. At this point of the season, I don't want to take a risk on captaining, especially when it's a straight captain. I don't want to take a risk on captaining someone who could get tagged. And Dunkley, look, I don't think he can get tagged. Like, even if they try to tag him, he's just going to find plenty of the inside ball. So yeah, Josh Dunkley's pretty safe in my opinion. If he goes 115 again, it is what it is. It's still a pretty solid score. I think that's probably his floor. And obviously coming back off an injury, so he was a bit quieter in the first half, and last quarter really turned it on. So I backed Dunkley for a big game in the Q clash. Moving on, Essendon and Sydney. I think Merritt cops row bottom. I don't like the Merritt pick this weekend, unfortunately. And I feel like even if Merritt has a good start, he will get a hard tag. So probably steer clear from him. Adelaide versus Port. Now, look, if Laird's not playing, I think Dawson almost certainly cops a tag. Port could still tag either of them. Now, obviously Dawson kicked the game winner on him last year. So maybe there's some beef with that or some hostility or whatnot. But I just think, yeah, Port can be scumbags. Like you see, they do hard tags. Wildrew does very, very hard tags. So I wouldn't be going anywhere near Rory Laird or Jordan Dawson this week for captaincy options. Hawthorn versus St Kilda. So you could maybe say Marshall or even like Steele, Willie Cop, Connor Nash. Probably not. But yeah, probably not in captain discussion. I mean, he has been on his last few weeks, but yeah, I think Marshall should go decent, but it's not someone I'm willing to trust because he did pump out a 60, and at that stage of the round, you're probably looking for a captain. I'd be surprised if anyone's VCing someone on a Sunday 110. Richmond versus Melbourne. So Taranto, it should be safe. I don't think he would have another bad game, but his form hasn't been great lately. It's mostly due to his disposal efficiency. And Petrarca, yes, he's still scoring, but I just know, like, with all this forward split, there's going to be one game where he just doesn't kick all those goals, I feel. And he maybe pumps out like an 80 or a 90. And then West Coast North, it's not even worth talking about them. So, yeah. I think the top three VC options, like you got to be Stewart, English, and Bont. I think they're the best VCs. And for captain, you're probably going to look at like Dunkley, maybe even Neil, and then like maybe Rowan Marshall. Because like I just think everyone else has a very high chance of getting tagged. So that's it for the video, guys. I'll be going Tim English into Josh Dunkley. Good luck, everyone, for the round.